In the midst of the randomness of fate, friendship served as a bridge to unite two very different people. It was through a mutual friend that Benjamin and Jessica met. The friend worked with Benjamin, a quiet and introverted programmer, and had studied with Jessica, an extroverted dreamer. When the two met, it was as if two completely different worlds collided. Benjamin was reserved, always carrying a laptop in his backpack. But behind that calm appearance, he was intelligent and had an incredible sense of humor. Jessica, on the other hand, was full of energy, mature, and brimming with plans for the future. Benjamin was captivated by her right away, while Jessica gradually discovered his funny and sensitive side, which was hidden behind that tranquil facade. Over time, their meetings became more frequent, and what started as a casual encounter ended up being the beginning of a special relationship. Jessica's spontaneity and charisma perfectly matched Benjamin's intelligence and humor. What seemed like just a coincidence of fate turned into something that promised to change their lives forever. They had a lot of fun together, despite the heavy work routine. The long conversations, movies on the couch, and dinners at new restaurants were special moments that brought them closer. Benjamin lived every second with gratitude, but for Jessica, something began to change. Gradually, the routine that once warmed her now seemed monotonous. The laughter diminished, the enthusiasm faded, and a silent restlessness took over her. Benjamin noticed the distance but didn't know how to fix it. While he clung to what they had, Jessica questioned whether that life was still enough. It seemed that the differences between them started to become evident. Jessica, 5 years older, already had a well-defined life plan: stability, career growth, a house to call her own, traveling the world, and, in the future, a family. She talked about it often, as if she were assembling a puzzle and knew exactly where each piece should fit. Benjamin, on the other hand, was immersed in a personal project he believed was revolutionary, something that could impact the world. However, for now, it didn't bring in any money, and that started to weigh on them. One afternoon, while they were walking through an upscale neighborhood in the city, Jessica looked around, admiring the impressive buildings, and decided to bring it up. "Ben, have you ever thought about buying an apartment around here? It would be an amazing investment," she commented, trying to disguise the anxiety in her voice. Benjamin felt a knot forming in his stomach. "Well, actually, I'm focused on other things at the moment. I'll continue with the project I'm developing, and it demands quite a bit of time and energy." Jessica didn't let him finish. "I know you're focused on your project, and I admire that. But Ben, I'm not a little girl anymore. I'm already 33 years old, and I don't want to keep waiting for things to fall from the sky. We need a plan, something concrete, you know?" Benjamin took a deep breath, trying to choose the right words. "Jess, don't worry. I'll find a way for us to have a good life together. I know it seems like I'm taking a long time, but what I'm building now could change everything for us. I just need a little more time to make it work." Jessica looked at him, torn between frustration and the desire to believe. She knew Benjamin was brilliant, but she also didn't want to stand still, waiting for time to pass without doing anything. Meanwhile, Benjamin felt the weight of her expectations, as if time was running faster than he could keep up with. In the days that followed, Jessica began to observe every detail of Benjamin's life with a more critical eye. The small rented apartment, almost without any furniture, the rusty bike he insisted on using, the worn-out clothes that seemed not to have been changed since college, all of this, which she once found charming, now deeply bothered her. Every object, every habit, was a reminder that he hadn't grown up, at least not in the way she expected. Her patience was running out, and frustration began to overflow. One evening, while having dinner at Benjamin's modest apartment, Jessica could no longer hold back what she was feeling. She looked around as if seeing the place for the first time, and disappointment took over her. "Ben, don't you think it's time to change things around here? To grow up a little?" she began, her voice laden with irritation. "Look at this place, at the way you live. It's like time has stopped for you. You're still stuck in student life." Benjamin stopped eating, holding the fork mid-air. He looked at her, surprised and hurt. "Jess, I know it's not ideal, but I've already told you that my project will work out. When it's ready, it will change everything. I just need a little more time." "That project again, Ben? Is it really going to work? How much longer do I have to wait?" She exploded, her voice echoing off the empty apartment walls. "You act like a kid. I can't see a future with someone who lives off scraps and is content with so little." Her words fell like knives, and Benjamin felt his heart tighten. He didn't expect that from her, not from the person he thought understood him. "Jess, please listen to me." He tried again, his voice trembling. "What I'm building is important. It's something that can change everything. I just need a few more weeks and you'll see." But Jessica no longer wanted to listen. She got up from the table, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "Enough, Ben. I can't stand waiting any longer for promises that never materialize. I need someone who wants to grow, who has real ambition. Someone who makes me believe in a future, not in excuses." Benjamin stood there, her words echoing in his mind like one blow after another. He wanted to argue, to explain, but her expression was cold, distant. Jessica grabbed her bag with brisk movements, avoiding looking at him. "I deserve more than this, Ben, and you need to wake up to life." Before he could respond, she opened the door and left, leaving behind a heavy silence and the sound of the door closing. Benjamin stood there, motionless, feeling the emptiness of the apartment closing in around him. He tried to take a deep breath, but the air seemed to be lacking. The tears he had been holding back finally escaped, silently running down his face. In the days that followed, he tried to get in touch, sent messages, called. But Jessica did not reply. She had made her decision, and Benjamin realized with a pain that felt physical that there was no going back. The relationship he believed to be solid, that he thought would withstand anything, had crumbled in a matter of minutes. And deep down, he knew that the pain was not just about the end, but about the feeling that she had never really believed in him. After the breakup, Benjamin was devastated. He truly believed that what they had was real, that Jessica would stand by him in difficult times, but she did not wait. She did not trust that he could make it work. The pain of abandonment consumed him, and he threw himself into work, using the project as a way to deal with the pain. Sleepless nights, endless days, he dedicated himself completely to the artificial intelligence platform he had been developing for years. It was his only anchor, the only thing that made sense at that moment. Meanwhile, Jessica moved on with her life. She focused on work, went out with other people, and tried to forget Benjamin. After all, he was just a dreamer with no future, as she had thought herself. She didn't have time to wait for someone who, in her view, was nowhere near providing the stability she so wanted. But deep down, a small voice in her head kept insisting, "What if he succeeds? What if he is right?" One day, while scrolling through social media on her phone, Jessica came across a photo that left her breathless. It was Benjamin, smiling, inside a private jet. She was paralyzed, her fingers trembling as she tried to understand what she was seeing. The caption of the photo was a news headline. "Young programmer creates revolutionary AI platform and signs multi-million-dollar deal with tech giant." It was him, Benjamin, the same Benjamin she had left behind. Jessica felt the ground disappear beneath her feet. The words on the screen seemed to dance as she tried to process what she was reading. He had done something grand, something that would change not only his life but the world. And she was not there to see it. She hadn't believed in him. Her hands began to sweat and her heart raced as if it wanted to leap out of her chest. She felt an overwhelming dizziness, like the world had turned upside down. Before she could react, her legs gave out and she fainted right there on the apartment floor. When she awoke, still dazed, Jessica found herself lying on the couch, with her phone fallen beside her. Benjamin's photo was still on the screen, a painful reminder of what she had lost. She tried to take a deep breath, but the air seemed scarce. How had he gotten there? How did everything change so quickly? She began to frantically search, discovering that Benjamin had closed a multi-million-dollar deal with one of the largest technology companies in the world. His artificial intelligence platform was revolutionizing the market, and he was the new sensation in the tech world. He had made it. Everything he promised, everything she didn't have the patience to wait for, had become reality. Jessica felt a lump in her throat. She had judged him by appearances, by the lack of money at that moment, without seeing the potential he carried. And now he was there, at the top, while she remained behind, stuck in the ordinary life she so insisted on prioritizing. She remembered his words, spoken with calm and confidence. "Don't worry, I will find a way for us to have a good life together." He had kept the promise, but she was no longer there to see it. Benjamin, on the other hand, no longer thought of Jessica. He had moved on, turning the pain of the breakup into fuel to achieve success. He held no grudges, but also had no room for those who didn't believe in him when he needed it most. He was living a life he never imagined possible, but deep down, he was still the same Benjamin, quiet, intelligent, and full of dreams. Only now the whole world knew it. Jessica, in her solitary reflection, realized that she had lost much more than a wealthy boyfriend. She had let slip the opportunity to be beside someone truly special, someone who saw the world in a unique and inspiring way. Benjamin was not just a talented programmer, he was a visionary, someone who saw beyond the obvious and had the courage to pursue his dreams, even when no one else believed in him. The story of Benjamin and Jessica did not have a happy ending as a couple, but it served as a powerful reminder. A reminder that the true worth of a person is not in what they possess, but in what they are capable of creating, in the impact they can have on the world, and that sometimes the greatest treasures are hidden in the most unlikely places, just waiting for the opportunity to shine. The story of Benjamin and Jessica did not have a happy ending as a couple, but it served as a powerful reminder. A reminder that the true worth of a person is not in what they possess, but in what they are capable of creating, in the impact they can have on the world. And more than that, a reminder that being with someone good, with genuine feelings and a sincere heart, is a rare treasure. Benjamin was like that. A man who, beyond his intelligence and vision, carried with him a kindness that few recognized. He loved truly, with loyalty and dedication. But Jessica, in her pursuit of security and status, did not appreciate it. Sometimes the greatest treasures are hidden in the most unlikely places, just waiting for the opportunity to shine. Benjamin was one of those treasures, but Jessica did not have the patience to wait for him to reveal his full potential. In the end, she ended up losing much more than a promising future. She lost the chance to be with someone who loved her in a pure and true way. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a comment with a rating from 1 to 5 to show how much you liked it. Also, watch the video that is now appearing on your screen. See you soon.